Be charming. Well, charming, that's kind of like Prince Charming. What's that word? I mean, be charming. I wanted to be a speaker. I wanted to get up on stage. And all I heard was, just stand and smile. Be charming. And I thought, I don't even know anybody who's charming. Then I realized, yes, I do. My grandson. My grandson is charming. There's no other word for it. He makes me smile every time I look at him, when I hear his voice, when I see a picture of him. So I thought, yeah, but that's kind of not me. But you know what? A smile makes you charming. Because people wonder, what are you smiling about? I labeled this talk the Smile Challenge because I really want, because I believe that nobody smiles enough. They really don't. I went to get my passport picture taken and I smiled like I always do. And they said, you can't smile. Then it's not me. I smile all the time. There are people who have said, I don't think I've ever seen you not smiling. You're just kind of like a smiley person. But this is where it all began. I have to confess my mess. I don't think people smile enough, but that isn't really where I'm starting from. I'm starting from a place of mess. You know, they say your mess is your message. Well, my confession is that I lack confidence. And people think, right, you've all been on stage, you've been all these different characters. Well, that's true, I have. And part of it was to prove that I had confidence, that I could somehow do it. Then I realized the one way that I built confidence, kind of unknowingly, is through memorization and cakes. Now, go figure, right? I memorized the very first thing at a Bible camp in northern Wisconsin. And what we had to do was, one at a time, tell everyone our favorite Bible verse and why it was our favorite. And I was a good Catholic girl thinking, I don't even know Bible verses. Well, the second girl to go said, my favorite verse is Philippians 4:4. Rejoice in the Lord always. I say it again, rejoice. And I thought, I can memorize that. Philippian. Yeah, I think that's it. 4:4. Rejoice in the Lord always, to say it again. So I said it to myself. I don't know what anybody else said. But when it was my turn, I said, my favorite verse is rejoice in the Lord always. I say it again, rejoice, because I like to be happy. And that's kind of where it all started. Then I learned there's another verse of the joy of the Lord is my strength. And I have become, as the years go by, declaring that I'm a soul of joy. But I have to go back to the Smile Challenge and the smile that, to me, because of my lack of confidence, because of things I didn't really feel comfortable with, was my downfall. So the word smile, and you can have sad eyes and a fake smile, and people don't know the difference. So my fake smile, my ability to put it on anyway, stood for, I'll spell the word, S-M-I-L-E. Secretly miserable, invisible, lonely, empty. That's what my smile was for a long time, a lot of the time. I was secretly miserable. Now, that doesn't sound like a person like me that's always smiling, but I was secretly miserable, because you can be miserable and still smiling. They might think you're constipated. The invisible part was, here I am, a state champion, standing on top with my trophy in hand. And they said, oh, what school is she from? I don't know, what school is green and white? I was wearing my gym uniform. Our school was orange and black, and nobody knew where I was from, just that I was standing on top of the podium with the trophy in first place. I really felt invisible and lonely. Now, I have 6 sisters and 2 brothers, and yet there we were. You got to be loud and grab fast if you want to be fed. There were so many times in my life where it's like, we're all getting in the car, we're all going here. But honestly, I felt lonely. My best friend was a dog, my dog Boots. And I'd put my head on Boots' shoulder and I'd pick up after Boots. I'd feed Boots. Well, Boots got heartworm and Boots had to be put down. My mom said, we have to put him to sleep. He's sick. And I thought, I don't know. Oh, good. When he wakes up, he'll be better. But honestly, what happened? Lonely. I didn't know, my 9-year-old self, that when you put a dog down, you put him to sleep, they don't come back. And empty, that emptiness, that loneliness, that miserable, invisible feeling. I just learned how to smile anyway and become a cheerleader to give support to other people. And this is where the cakes come in. I prayed that that cake that I'd made for the friend that I worked with, that was 5 tiers high, would stay upright. I became a professional cake decorator, working in bakeries and learning how to do all the stuff. And they said, oh, could you make my wedding cake? Sure, why not? But I didn't have the support pegs in the bottom layer. When I got 2.5 hours away, I realized, oh, I can't put this cake together without support. Well, I found straws, I found some popsicle sticks, I did everything that I could, and I stuck them in there, and then I piled it up. About an hour and a half later, the wedding guests were there, and I was kind of proud of my effort. And someone came up to me and he said, did you make the wedding cake? And I thought she was going to compliment me and tell me how beautiful it was. And I said, yeah. She said, it's starting to tip over. We have to take pictures quick before it. I was so embarrassed. And I found a way. This boils all the way down to the smile challenge that says, you got to smile anyway. You can fix whatever you need, but we all need support. And those support pegs that were lacking in that cake and the support pillars in my life are what I want to really extend to you and challenge you with a little bit of a smile challenge, giving you a little CPR for the soul that will keep a smile on your face and you'll have joy in a flash. The first C in CPR is cursive. So with me, and I know this sounds crazy and maybe this is very juvenile, I am a teacher after all, is take your dominant finger and then in the air, write your name. Dot the I's, cross the T's. You got it? Wasn't that hard. You probably haven't done it before, but why not? Now take the opposite hand and write your name in cursive, connecting the letters. That wasn't that hard, was it? Now I could have you put that imaginary pen between your toes and have you stand up and write your name. I could have you put it on your head and then have you write your name in cursive, imagining it to be the light of the pen that's drawing. It makes people go, what am I doing? The one that always gets people though is when I say, all right, put the pen in your belly button and then draw your name. And they're jumping up and down, whatever. I said, I'm going to record this. You know, this is pretty funny. Watch a classroom full of 6th graders belly writing their name. But honestly, doing a personal thing. Everyone has their own name. You are the only you in the universe. That's the first step of the challenge. Write your name in cursive. Tell your child to do it. Tell your husband to do it. Tell your boss to do it. And then just watch them write their name in the air. It's one way to put a smile on their face, like this is weird. It doesn't matter if it's weird or not. It's possible. The P, I call it put the pen in. Now, I used to be on stage and I've directed plays with kids on stage. And the one way to get them to just kind of relax a little bit, put the pen in. And then act like it's still there and then put this big old fake smile on your face. And then look at the other people and how fake their smile. Some people, you never see their top teeth. But when you put the pen in, and I use my finger because I didn't have a pen handy, well, actually I do. So if you have a pen, you keep the smile and you take the pen out and then you act as if, you know, how goofy is that? simple thing that you can do to put a smile on your face. Even if it's not natural or normal, it still makes you look better and your face feels better. The R in CPR, besides cursive name and pen in the mouth, is reflect. Remember, what in your life can you remember when you laughed so hard you peed your pants? Now, I literally was a cheerleader, and we did a hello cheer, and everyone said, let's say our mom's name instead of our name. Well, it just so happens that my sister is also a cheerleader, and for some reason, before we did our little HELLO, Panthers say hello, and we'd say our name and greet the other cheerleaders from the opposing team. And we were going up to each other, what's your mom's name? What's your mom's name? And my sister said, what's your mom's name? And for some reason, we both like, duh, we have the same mom. And I just peed my pants. I've never done that before or since, but I will never forget it. Here I am in my little cheerleader uniform, practicing our hello cheer, and talk about embarrassing moments. You know, that's one thing I learned, that I have the gift of going from awkward to amazing just by smiling. You just have to laugh when you have to laugh. So reflect on a time in your life when you were laughing, maybe uncontrollably. Maybe it was bubbles. Maybe it was a parachute. Maybe it was something that a joke you didn't understand, and then all of a sudden it's like, I get it, I get it. So here's the bottom line recipe, all right? Joy in a flash is using not only the CPR for the soul recipe that I just gave you, but the letters that spell the word flash. And if we just did it, I just demonstrated it for you. Focus. The F in flash is focus. What are we focusing on? Everything you focus on magnifies, enlarges, and yet it gets smaller because it's where clarity comes from. What you focus, where focus goes, energy flows. And so if you're focusing on the person you're with, you're doing the right thing at the right time with the right one. Focus. If you want to be happy, if you want to find the good, you most certainly will find it. Abraham Lincoln said that, and so did Pollyanna. Focus begins joy in a flash. Decide what you want to focus on. Do I want to focus on everything I don't have and all the stuff that's going badly? Or do I want to focus on the person I'm with? The L is listen. Now, there's a difference between hearing and listening. When I taught CPR, a lot of people had stories of things that were just horrible for them. And I totally, fully understand that. People that wanted to get certified in CPR because their aunt had a cardiac event right in their living room and they didn't know what to do, and they did the best that they could with what they remembered, but they wanted to recertify just to do it right and to have that assurance, again, that confidence factor. But they were listening for the ambulance, for the sirens approaching. If you just hear sirens in the background, that's one thing. Yeah, I hear sirens. My daughter lives in Boston, and I'm telling you what, between sirens and foreign languages, I hear them every day, all the time. Sirens, when you listen for them, it's because you have a life and death situation and you can't get there fast enough. So what you listen to matters. If you're focused and listening, the A happens naturally. You will ask the right thing. You will ask what they really need. You'll be able to intuitively pull out what it is that they need to tell you. So focusing on the right thing, listening truly from the heart, you will ask the right questions that will help them, whatever way it is. The support pegs in your life, the support that holds the rest of you up, the support that helps other people stay upright, comes from asking them the right question when you listen to their response. The S is smile. I already told you how to do that. Put the pen in, write your name in cursive from various places. You can do it with your elbow too if you want. And the last thing is hug. The hug in flash means embrace who you are, who they are. Put some value on the things you're doing and the people you're with. You can hug them with your whole being. Even though in quarantine you're not allowed to get within 6 feet of somebody, you can hug with your eyes. I want to end with something that happened to me that puts joy in a flash kind of in perspective. I was in the grocery store and I saw a friend of mine who was just kind of like, not feeling great. I could tell by the look in her eyes. When I focused on her and I listened to what she said, oh, it's been a rough week. I said, you know what I just heard? Prince EA, which a lot of people know, he's got very positive, upbeat messages that are thought-provoking. He had just done a little thing on row, row, row your boat, the song, row, row, row your boat. He said, you're doing something. You're actively in your own boat, gently down the stream. So you're headed in a direction, but you're doing some of the work to get there. You're rowing gently, not feverishly, not frantically, not angrily, gently down the stream. And then 4 times they had to say, merrily, 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 merrily. That means your attitude is happy one, always joyful. Life is but a dream. It's the vision that we have. All right, so I was sharing this with her and she thought, you know, that really helped. You're right, you're right. I shouldn't be all like resisting everything. I should just kind of go with the flow and realize that if it's to be, it's up to me. And so that helped her. But shortly after I spoke to her, I turned around to get my little items on the list, and this little boy came up to me and he gave me this giant hug, like such a hug I've never had before. And I thought, oh no, he thinks I'm his mom and I'm going to look down and he's going to, not at all, not at all. That little boy looked up at me and he said, he just beamed. It was his genuine smile, you know? And he looked at my friend who was looking at me like, you know this kid? He said, are you with her? And I said, yeah, she's with me. He goes, now you both have love. We did. We truly both had love. Joy in a flash. That's when you focus on who you're with and what you're doing and what you want to do. When you listen with your heart, when you ask the question out loud, don't ever forget to smile and embrace what you're doing. That's how you get joy in a flash. And you can have it any moment of any day with anyone. You can be the support pegs that hold the cake up, that hold society up. And I just want to thank you. I do have a few books and a few things that give support to people. This is a conglomeration book. It's called Shine. And it's probably backwards, I'm not sure, but it's stories to empower. And the story of my grandson is in this. And then the Sex Talk Made Easy, which is Keep Your Virgin from Virgin Too Soon. It's support for parents who want to have a health teacher on how to have that joy in a flash. No matter how awkward, you can be amazing. Thanks for stopping by.